opposite. My room's really cold. Japanese apartment, so. Last day of the year. I had to wash my hair because I feel like this year has just been so insane that I needed to literally cleanse myself physically, mentally, emotionally, just to have a fresh start. Because I don't think it's gonna be any easier. At least the first half, you know. The world is still a mess and we're still struggling with this Rona and all of the other issues that go on day to day that affect people's lives. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to refresh and get my head and mind, body in the right space to move forward and keep fighting, because there's a lot to be fought for and that is worth fighting for this year and beyond this year. So just gotta make sure we're in the best shape for that. I hope if you're watching this you're doing okay. But I saw an Instagram post a little bit earlier today by Blossom the Project, who is really amazing. I'm actually not aware if it's one person or a team. They've kind of grown their account a lot this year. I think they're really new, but yeah, a lot of social justice and current events posts in English and Japanese, which is really great because it's so hard to find Japanese language information about things that are going on or that are important to the Americans who live here in Japan. But not only that, like they talk about, you know, LGBTQ issues and mental health, like things that are applicable to literally anyone but don't get talked about enough in Japanese society, as well as American society, although there are more conversations happening back home. But yeah, here it's like there's a lot of catching up to do. So it's really good to see the work that they've been doing. But today they posted a few questions that they wanted people to answer before the end of the year. So while I was doing my skincare, I thought that I would kind of jump into some of these questions and share some of my answers. So the first question is, what is something you accomplished this year that you are proud of? This year, well, I got a camera. That's what I'm filming on. I've been using it and I've been learning a lot, just trial and error. I'm not really taking any classes. I've never taken a photography class in my life. Like, I just watched YouTube and yeah, I just started to take videos. I haven't posted any, so this might be the first one that you get to see, because editing is a little bit of a pain for me, but it's fun. It's kind of a long process, and I just want it to be like out there when I'm done filming, which I can't really do if I want the video to be exactly the way I want it, because we make mistakes and stuff. So yeah, but yeah, that there's a few things. I got a new job this year, which I wish it was under better circumstances. I was pretty much forced to get a new job because I had to leave my last job because of they're being really shady during the kind of height of the pandemic. And once Japan went into a state of emergency, like, I was pretty much like being held on, like, oh, you're such a good employee and we want to keep you, but I wasn't getting any work and I get paid hourly at that job. So I mean, what are you gonna do for 3-4 months, just not make any money and they expect you to stay? Like, no. So literally, luckily, I was able to find a teaching job that now I realize, after having been there some time, treats me like a human being, and I get some workers' benefits, which is really nice because I wasn't getting drag shit at the other place. Yeah, I wasn't getting much at the other place besides a nice paycheck, which goes a long way, especially in a pandemic. But again, I wasn't getting any work, so. Well, this is more next year, but I've posted about it. I'm launching my online shop at suzuri.jp, which is like a kind of a made to order like print shop, but you can buy a ton of things. So I'm gonna be selling some of my artwork. I make collage artwork on t-shirts and cups, like bags, stickers. They sell a ton of things, and it's really great. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that's gonna go. I have a few pieces up. I've just been picking the products that I want to have them featured on, and so I need to do one more batch of orders just to make sure quality is okay, and that those are the things that I really want to sell, and then I'm ready to launch. So I'm hoping, I'm a little bit behind schedule, but I think I could still do a January launch, so please look out for that. And that's super exciting. Coffee's done. Yeah, so that's something this year. But you know, the biggest thing is like none of those. It's literally that I'm alive. Like, I made it to the end of 2020, and if you're watching this, you did it too. Congratulations. Somehow, and that is a huge thing. Like the things that I just mentioned, these are like kind of big things and projects, and yeah, but literally just day to day, like making it through the day, any day this year, you are doing just fine. So yeah, I just had to put that out there, because an accomplishment doesn't need to be like this huge thing. If it's huge to you, then like that's all that matters. And definitely yeah, being on this earth and living in your truth and being yourself and giving yourself like that grace and that space to do so, even when the things around you and people around you might not approve or whatever, like that is major. That's huge. So next question, what are the 3 most important things you learned this year? There is a huge one, and it's mostly advocating for yourself or myself. Yeah, I'm kind of a, how can I explain this? I think I'm a very generous person, and I'm the kind of person who can put other people before myself. But that gets very tricky, and it's not always a great thing, especially in very close relationships and in long relationships, even work relationships, because I did have some things going on even after I changed my job. There was a moment where I had to stand up for myself at work, and that's always intimidating, but more so because I was brand new, and I was literally like just like glad to have a job, because it's like the state of the world was so uncertain. It still is, and nothing's forever. especially because I'm not in Japan as a permanent resident. Like, I'm just on a, what is it called, like a work visa or whatever. But yeah, yeah, it was something happened that upset me enough that I was like, I can't let this go. Like, usually I can give people a lot of chances. I think I'm very patient, but yeah, I put my foot down, and I'm glad that I did. Things are okay now. It's not the best kind of situation, but I think the outcome is the best that it could possibly be, and it's because, like, I said something. So yeah, that's in terms of work. In terms of love, recently I separated from my partner of over 3 years, so that's kind of a huge thing. I've only just recently told, like, some of my closest friends, and, like, a lot of my friends don't know yet, so if you're watching this, this might be a shock to you. I haven't told my family back home, so hey, that's what's kind of going on. But yeah, it's just, this year has been a huge lesson. Like, ultimately, in the end, like, I know that I'm the only person who's gonna have my back the way that I should, and that has always been the case. I've never, like, wavered from that belief, but yeah, it's just like, how much benefit of the doubt can you give, and then when does that become harmful and, like, hurtful to you? So yeah, I was wrestling with a lot of tough things, but I'm, like, trying to share but not give too much. It's still recent, and there's still some hurt there. There's still some anger there when I think about things, you know, in the shower and stuff, deeply or whatnot. But day by day, it gets better. Like, I've been doing really good besides that, so yeah. I can't say it sucks that it's over, because it was a great learning moment for me as a person. Yeah, but that's one thing. Advocating for yourself. How important, I learned, number 2, how important health is. It's something, you know, like, obviously. Like, you don't want to take your health for granted, but it's just easy to forget, to go through your day-to-day life and maybe not be aware in every moment how much you are able to do until it's taken away from you. And I think a lot of people learned that this year. I've always been aware, in a sense, because I lived with a sibling with a physical disability, and I'm not comparing the current state of quarantine to anything like that, because that's a completely different experience. But yeah, I think a lot of people's eyes were open to, like, the reality of having to stay home and not being able to move around freely as they are used to, or, you know, like, the possibility of becoming, like, really ill. It just never occurred to a lot of people. So just, like, this whole entire year has been, like, a lesson in needing to prioritize your health and your sanity. Like, mental health and just stress is just, like, that shit wrecks you so hard, man. Like, be kind to yourself, be forgiving, be flexible. Next, I'm gonna go in with this water. Just doing a lot of, like, toners and not serums, but yeah, like watery lotion right now. But this is the last one. I really like this one. It's expensive though, but I got this in duty free because once upon a time I was going to Korea very, very frequently. I love Korea. Korea, love you. Yeah, and I got this at duty free. Next question. I feel like those two, health and like advocating for yourself. If there's a third, you know, I think it requires me to think a lot more deeply, and nothing's coming to mind right now. So those are like the two biggest ones because they popped into my head immediately. So next question. What are you most grateful for this year? Health, man. That is literally it. The fact that I'm alive. That's it. And it's that simple, but it's that hard. It is hard to go through like day-to-day life when you have so much shit going on, when the world is going insane and you're so far from your family, when there's assholes in government, always have been, but particularly these last 4 years, not a big fan. Yeah, it's rough, and that's putting it lightly. But yes, health and community. I haven't been able to see a lot of my like close friends. Now I have a lot more time to like possibly see people, but the way the world is right now, you can't. So it's kind of like, oh, all the things we could be doing, hanging out and doing all this stuff, but the time will come when it will be safe to do so. I don't know if it's gonna be next year, but eventually. Who is someone that helped you get through this year? Send that person a few words of gratitude. I want to be self-centered and say myself. But I don't know if that's like, I mean, that's a totally fair and honest answer. Like, that is not a lie. But if I want to extend gratitude outward, someone who helped me get through this year. My two best friends back home. But they help me every year. So I don't know if this is like particularly this year, but man, those my ride or dies, you know. I have a lot of friends, but yeah, Derek, David, you guys know you're my heart. So many late night, early morning conversations. Like, our time zones are all messed up, so we just like, we catch up and we talk like anytime we can. And yeah, they know everything, and so going through everything that's happened this year and just like having people to vent with and to and be like honestly listened to has been amazingly and incredibly helpful. And I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, and I hope that you feel the same way and that I am reciprocating everything that I feel for you guys. I hope it's going both ways because I love you. Also, I do have to say my ex-boyfriend, he is just such a big part of my life until we separated, which again was really recently. So it would be a lie to say that I'm not grateful for the things that we had gone through and have been through, not only during like the course of our multi-year relationship, but in this past year, because it's been so hard, and to have like someone by your side through it is really nice. And not all the moments were great, but a lot were, and so thank you. And his mama. His mom is amazing. I love the parents. That's the hardest part about separating from someone. I love people's parents, and people's parents love me. And it's just always been like, I've been really cool with all of my partner's parents, to different degrees, of course, but yeah, for the most part. This is just, I didn't show you what this was. This is just a Cermide serum. This I got in Japan. If you are here, highly recommend. I don't use it every day, but I definitely use it before makeup when I do my full face stuff. So yeah, it's still going strong. I don't know if I use enough, but I like it. Next, another Sulwhasoo product. It came coupled with the water. And this is the Balancing Emulsion X. And I love this. I'm oily, so I don't use this in the day. At this point, I'd probably use SPF if I were going out. But it's, what is it? It's 6 p.m. so it's okay. And you don't need a lot. It's very glidey. It's so nice though. It smells really good. Okay. Let's see. What are your goals for next year? Launch my store on Suzuri. I want it to do well because that is literally supporting like everything else that I do. Like everything I enjoy doing creatively, it just requires so much money, you know. It's like, help would be great. But yeah, basically, like any proceeds that I get, of course the company gets a cut because they have to produce the items and it's made to order and stuff, so I get, I guess, a commission or whatever you want to call it. And so yeah, I'm just wanting to use those towards my art and do some like fundraising and some local initiatives with that. But yeah, beyond that, I want to learn more about my music production, what I'm trying to do, find out more of my sound. Okay. And yeah, I've been using MPC by Akai. Just updated my software around Black Friday, and I was using a very old version of the software, but there's been some really significant changes, and so relearning things is not really, I'm not really good at it. I was just so used to the way that things were and where the menus were and where everything was. Like, it looks completely different, and it's not too different, but there's so many new things So like I would probably be able to do everything that I had learned previously once I figured out, okay, oh, this moved here, this moved here. But then there's like tons of other like new things that I need to learn as well. And so my production isn't coming along as quickly as I would like. I'm still like doing 16 bar loops, but it's literally just a matter of time. The more that I do them and dedicate myself to sitting down, I'll get better, I'll get faster, and I'll become more knowledgeable. I've just been going around YouTube, as always, watching tutorials, but yeah. I just want to learn that because I want to create the things that are in my head. I'm gonna go into my under eye with this. And I don't need much. If you shake it and get it on the cap, like I don't even need all of this. Like this is a lot. Just gonna put that there. Let that sit. Music. Goals. It's literally like just to become better at everything that I'm doing now. Like I just got my camera. I want to learn more. I want to try to go into videography, but not even in 2021. I think unless something happens, I change my mind, I may. But yeah, I think I'm doing enough right now. So I just want to work on these kinds of videos and, you know, meeting more people online and otherwise. Yeah, people locally who are creatives and just make more stuff. That is all, because it makes me happy. I'm a teacher and I like teaching, but it's not my passion. But I have bills to pay, so it's like, okay, I guess. I enjoy it most of the time, not all the time. Sometimes I get really down about it when I'm not enjoying it, but I'm not bad at it. So yeah, I've been struggling with that this year actually. That's like one of the things that's always in my mind. It's like, am I doing what I should be doing? I want to do this more, you know. But going back to advocating for yourself, yeah, not last year because it's still 2020, about 3.5 months ago, yeah, I had a breakdown from so much stress because I was overworking myself. I had just got this new job, and during the state of emergency I had picked up like private students to teach English on top of like the already existing students that I was already teaching like on the side or whatever. And yeah, once I got a day job, I didn't cancel their lessons because I felt like that was really shitty to be like, alright, got a job, bye. Like, I don't know, yeah, I don't want to do that. That seemed mean and unnecessary. But I was also just grateful to be working and making money because the world is so crazy and I don't know when I'm gonna be jobless again, if this job's gonna work out or whatever, you know. Yeah, so my day job had me teaching and still has me teaching at 4 schools. I don't have I have a schedule, but it's not like Monday is this school, Tuesday is this school. It kind of rotates. throughout the weeks and the months and stuff. So yeah, I was like getting used to this, juggling the 4 schools, and then I had all my private students on the weekend and in the evenings after work. So I was working like super long days constantly. I had like 4 sets of private students and 4 schools in the day, so it was like, it was so much. And yeah, going back to advocating for yourself, and also thanks to my ex who like saw me the day that I literally had it up to here, like enough, and yeah, he helped me to like come to terms with like, you gotta drop some of that because it's obviously putting you in a bad place. Yeah, and he's Japanese, so he did literally help me to like communicate with my students like in Japanese, because when it comes to those formal kinds of situations, like ending work or like starting, not a contract, because there aren't any contracts when you just link up with students, like it's mostly verbal or through email or something. But yeah, especially like that kind of thing, I wanted to be as forthright as possible, so he helped me to like communicate with them clearly and let them know like I need a break. I'm still on that break, but in this break I've discovered that I have more time to focus on the things that I want to do. And so like the end of this year has been really great, honestly. And I kind of want to maintain that for a little bit longer. I might take some students back in the future, but yeah, in its time, if it gets there. Oh, this was a 2-part question. Okay, so the first question was, what are your goals for next year? Suzuri, the clothing line. Music, learn my program, learn my beat making stuff. I kind of want to learn piano. I was studying before, and then I slacked off because now I'm studying Japanese, like officially with a teacher. So it was like, okay, after school you can learn piano on this app, or you could take Japanese class. And yeah, my language ability and improving that is a bigger priority right now, because that also got me down a lot this year. It was like, I've been in Japan for so long. I've been here 6, almost 7 years, and it's like my speaking ability is not where I wanted it to be at this point. I didn't even imagine I would be here this long, but that I am, and that my language skill isn't aligned with that, with the length of time that I've been here. Like, it got me feeling really weird. And then knowing that like teaching wasn't what I want to do, but that having improved language skills would be like the way out of teaching. Yeah, it was just like really layered and complex. Like, not really difficult, because it's like, obviously, okay, you don't want to teach, so learn Japanese and then you can find something. Like, that's very logical. But actually doing it and like knowing, like, I'm not good at self-study. Like, that is something that I have learned. Like, I need a teacher. And so yeah, I finally signed up for lessons. I'm really enjoying our class so far. I'm taking an N3 conversation class with Akiko sensei. She's in Tokyo and she's amazing. And yeah, I'm really happy to be one of the few students who got a spot in her class. But yeah, just doing something like that where it's like, yeah, it's another thing that I have to do after work, but it's something, it's an investment that goes back into me instead of me giving more of myself outward, which is what teaching is a lot. Like, it feels a lot of like that sometimes, because like sometimes you just don't have the energy in you, especially after you've already taught all day at school. Like, ugh, I'm dead tired. Like, to give like even more of myself after I'm exhausted is like, it's so hard for me. I think it'd be hard for most people. So like, yeah, our classes have been fun, and it's just been, I don't see it as like a task. It's like I'm excited to go to our lessons and like be a student, because I've been on the teacher side for years now. So yeah, it's fun. Thank you for that. But yeah, language goals. Yeah, so how will you work to achieve those goals? I'm gonna work on more collage. I have my setup here, and I've been trying to film that too, because I do want to share that. I think that's something that people would really like. Work on music a little bit, not every day. Every day would be nice, but I think that's unrealistic right now for what I'm doing and my workload and stuff. Because the end of the Japanese school year is in March, and so like January to March is like crunch time, and so I just want to kind of focus on work and experience what that end of year kind of flow and process and workload is like for my 4 schools. And then the next year, which starts in April and goes on, I think I'll have a much easier time, because like I will have already experienced, not the April to June part because I started my job in June, but yeah, I've worked at enough schools that I kind of know how the beginning of the year is. And since I've been at the school since June, I know a lot of the students I'll be teaching that, you know, once they move to the next grade. So yeah, January, March, bang that out. Yeah, and then like find more time. I think with that ease in my schedule and mental space, and like knowing how to navigate what's expected of me and like what I want to do at my work, then yeah, when I come home, I'll definitely have the physical and mental and creative capacity to like focus on music more. So okay, these are the last 2 questions. What challenge do you want to take on next year? I think I'm taking on enough. I don't want to take on anything else. Take on literally sounds like so scary right now. Yeah, I just want to keep my focus on myself. So that in itself is a challenge, because there's so many things, day-to-day distractions. There's like work stuff, there's family stuff, there's friend stuff, relationship stuff, like just so much stuff. Like the challenge is like blocking that out and keeping things here, like keeping the focus here and maintaining that, and like keeping your eyes on your goals. And I think I've been like dipping into that this second half of this year, and so there is nothing else that I want to do except work on my work. How will you prioritize your mental health next year? Well, going back to what I learned this year, just gonna show you this. This is, I'm gonna top everything off with this. These 2 are from SunKiss Organics. I gotta plug it real quick because home girl back home in the Bronx, this is her brand and it's amazing. And these are the products that I think really contributed to my skin condition like being phenomenal lately. So yeah, please look for her at SunKiss Organics on Instagram, and she's got her website up, especially if you are stateside. I'm just gonna take 3 drops. I was gonna do 4, but 3 is okay. And just tap. Yeah, mental health. Oh, my goal is to write more this year. So I talked about music, I talked about beat making, but I didn't talk about lyrics and like singing. Like that side of the music that I want to do. I want to explore more genres. I do mostly R&B, rap, hip hop, but I really like rock music too. I would love to do something like that. I worked on a house track like earlier this year that was really, really fun. It's not finished in terms of like the production side of things, but yeah, like that was really fun. Yeah, I don't know, I just want to try like other shit. I want to try like jazz or something, you know, like live musicians, bands. I think it'd be really fun to do, so I'm very open to like experimenting more next year. But yeah, I want to write more lyrically and like just in a journal. I haven't done a lot of writing recently and it makes me sad. So yeah, as far as mental health, I feel like that's a huge outlet for me, or has been in the past, but yeah, this year just it hasn't really happened. So that's it, really. I hope you have a wonderful end to your 2020. I hope you are healthy and safe and you find happiness, because literally being safe and healthy is like the priority. If you are healthy and safe and not happy, like I understand, because there's a lot to be like upset about and it's so overwhelming right now, but it will get better. It will get better. Yeah, I hope to see you somewhere in my socials or online or offline if I know you. I hope soon when it's safe and things are like calmed down or whatever, but who knows when that's gonna be. So yeah, I think that's all I gotta say. Be good.